The drone strikes are the face of America to many Yemenis.
Welcome to Ramel on Skype. Today, I'm here with Farea al-Muslimi, the foremost scholar and activist on Yemen. He has been featured on John Oliver's Last Week Tonight, Fareed Zakaria's GPS, and Farea had his chance to read his testimony in front of the Senate a few years ago. I also had the pleasure of working with him in Beirut many years ago, so thank you for joining me. I just want to ask you a few questions, so let's just get right into it. Farea?
Ahlan, Afeef. Good to see you.
Ahlan. So I just want to know who or what inspired your activism. Did you always want to be a writer on Yemen, or growing up did you want to be something else?
No, I think everyone or every citizen living in this part of the world is somehow an activist, more or less. But rather, I think it's a natural response to so many complexities and issues around you that, you see not much writing about something, so you decide to write about it.
So where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
I grew up in the mountains, middle Yemen, actually. Spent quite time around different places in Yemen, and I lived in the US and in Beirut for college.
What do you think is the most important thing the Ramel community needs to know about Yemen right now?
I would say definitely the humanitarian issue is the most underreported and needs attention the most.
Do you have anything to say about the clashes that are going on in southern Yemen now? Or how do you feel about the sanctions that have been put on President Saleh, ex-President Saleh? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you have any opinion on it?
So far, the sanctions seems to be against Houthis and Saleh because they hindered the GCC deal in Yemen.
Right.
Not necessarily because they hindered peace. Sanctions is also like a bullet. When you shoot it, you lose the ability to threaten with it. The international community has failed in Yemen.
How has Al-Qaeda sort of been part of the clashes? How have they maybe recruited because of maybe drones or these sanctions?
Is when people are disappointed, frustrated, and when the government is absent from doing what it should be, then another, groups like Al-Qaeda gain in general a space from the vacuum. Right now, for example, the escalation of violence between Al-Qaeda and Houthis is something, will increase the sectarian tension in the country, but at the same time, the drone aspect is not any less, I think, less important, because Al-Qaeda has, right now, at the moment, their language in the north is we are fighting the Houthis and the Americans. Therefore, when Al-Qaeda tried to stop it, or to stop the Houthis, it gained legitimacy, and therefore when the drones come in, it just adds into this big complex, already locally manipulated and locally driven conflict.
I wanted to know more about the drug Khat. Like, it's such a large part of the Yemeni economy, and I want to know why you think people are so addicted to it. What's your take on the situation? Where's it going?
Many realize how devastating to the water and to the economy this is, but if you want to solve Khat in Yemen, I think one of the only policy you need to impose is taxation.
Right.
That can actually make it a new, a new national income.
My last question is, do you think the violence in the Middle East, maybe in Yemen or just in general, is the result of the Middle East democratizing, or do you think it's a cyclical pattern that's not getting better?
Democracy has been too late, not because democratization is happening. And the more we will delay it, the more the price we will pay. The Middle East is ready for democracy always.
Right.
Time. The question here is the West ready for democracy in the Middle East?